guys, I am really excited to bring you my old friend Trennis Evans, who is a January 6th defendant. He went to big boy jail because of these evil people, and he is coming on to break some news. And I'm very excited to have him. He's always welcome. Hey, Trennis.
Hey, how are you, Angela? Good to see you. Thanks
So
for having
good.
me.
And I'm going to bust your balls a little bit. So before we came on the air, I was like, where is this guy? What's going on? And he texted me back. He goes, I'm on the phone with the White House. I'm like, oh, well, I guess that's okay. He's like, yeah. What was that about?
Angela, yeah, look, that's a touchy subject I can't really get into. Just
Oh,
I will tell you
okay.
that there's an interest in pardons for people that are not January 6th defendants that were operating those efforts through American Rights Alliance.
Yes.
Some of those key interests would encompass people like Arkansas State Senator John Woods, wrongfully convicted. It all started with Jack Smith's office. I mean, we all know that name. It's synonymous with evil. And then later, after this gentleman had been convicted and sent to prison, the agent, Cesario, the FBI agent, pled guilty to the destruction of evidence in the case. That evidence
Well,
was
wait.
important.
Let's back up a little bit. Okay, so you're with a new organization. Let's just start from the beginning. What is your new position, and tell me about it?
Yeah, so American Rights Alliance. We were initially funded by Don Jr. He gave the startup to get the organization up and running, and he wanted a team of fierce advocates that would go out and fight lawfare for American citizens. We don't represent big business and corporations. We represent the little guy. We represent people you never heard of. We also represent some people you have heard of. I started to tell you a little bit about that earlier on the radio show,
Yeah.
but yeah, so Tina Peters, Gold Star mom, Mesa County clerk. That's a case that we have leave counsel on. So Tina Peters called me, asked for help, and she got it. And it's consistent with our viewpoints and the goals of this administration, as well as anyone that is interested in actual justice. But more importantly, it fits our charter at American Rights Alliance of fighting injustice in cases we believe are politically weaponized ideology that is carried over through some sort of injustice that happened born of either a state or federal case. So that's the Tina Peters case. And we're representing James O'Keefe on a First Amendment case in Washington, D.C. We've recently seen a video come out where he had a Pentagon official, or well, he didn't, a journalist that he works with, had a Pentagon official out to dinner, and the guy had a few drinks in him. It appears that he may have been having a few drinks in him, and he managed to spill the beans about some things and talk about things maybe he shouldn't have talked about, and it was an embarrassment. He ended up losing his job as a contractor, former FBI agent, currently working at the Pentagon through Booz Allen as a contractor. So Booz Allen fired him and he lost his job at the Pentagon, or the other way around, one or the other, to my understanding. And then so Mr. Menina is very upset about this and wants to blame journalists for his problem. So that's it's a First Amendment issue. They have every right, and we've represented that case for Mr. O'Keefe. And then we have a case that nobody's heard of, that nobody knows about, that's probably as appalling a case as you could imagine. From a parental standpoint, you just have to be horrified. And that case is Shayna Gaviola. She's in the Eastern District of California. She saw me on TV talking about injustice out in front of DC jail or somewhere, rallying for people, I don't know, somewhere on the news, and said maybe these people can help me. She got in touch with me. She found her actual nearby J6 defendant, Ben Martin, who in California, and gets in touch with me and starts telling me about this case. And after investigating this case for over a month and going through the documents and the files and information on the case that have been provided and the discovery, I am appalled. I will tell you that, imagine this. I don't know, Angela, I don't know if you have children, but I have children. So I have two boys.
I do
Right?
not. Don't
Okay,
have them, don't want them.
All right. So, fair enough. So I have two boys, 18 and 22. And I think sometimes, it's funny having teenage boys I saw a meme once. We got to laugh once in a while to keep ourselves from crying on these issues. But it said having teenagers is like being in a relationship where the other person's really already broken up with you and moved on, just haven't told you yet. And I was like, man, that's not true. Goodness gracious. It all finally made sense. We broke up and they're moving
like,
on.
Why do my kids hate me?
They don't hate you. They just broke up with you already.
They just broke up with you.
Yeah. So anyway, But back to Shayna Gaviola. So she's a mother of 4. She moves from Tennessee to better herself, become an RN, do some things with her life that she hadn't been able to do before, raising 4 children. And now she has no choice. Her first husband, there was a divorce. And years later, she found out she remarried. And then he died in an accident. And so now she's a mother of 4, single mother of 4. You can only imagine. And with all teenage children in school and teenagers and below, single digiters. So she's finds out that the school is offering counseling to her child of a nature that she doesn't agree with. In other words, transgender ideology.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mean transgendering?
Yeah. So they're going to transition the boy, according to Miss Gaviola. She explains all this to us. We've been through the documents. She goes to the school and says, what the hell? Absolutely not. This is my 14-year-old son, and he will remain my son until such time that he, is an adult and make these choices for himself. But you can't buy alcohol. You can't buy cigarettes.
Can't get a tattoo.
No, you can't even get your damned ear pierced at the mall without your parent, right? So it's too permanent. But chemical castration, puberty blockers, hormone pills, and a permanent change to your body while in the years of formative development is not. Strange how they work, right? There's no logic to any of it. If it were, it's just insanity. So what they've done, so Shayna Gaviola, in my opinion, she was rather courageous, and she decided to fight back against this radical ideology and sends her child to a Christian school in Missouri. Upon the child arriving there, things are going okay. And lo and behold, here comes the FBI beating on the door and the Department of Justice, and they shut down the Christian school based on the idea that she has trafficked her child out of California, her 14-year-old. She's somehow trafficked them.
What?
Out of California. Yes, she's being charged. She's been charged. She's on trial next month for trafficking.
I want to talk to this lady.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I'm going to let you interview her just as soon as we get through the trial.
Yeah, so, I mean, what the AF?
You will. You're more than welcome to. It's insanity. So here's where we are now. We're representing this case. We take on these cases, and the defendant pays $0. That's how we do it. Actually, I take that back. I think we charge them $10. I think they have to pay $10 total. So there is no extra. It's not free legal services. We do charge them $10. So, and then if they get an appeal, I think we do $25 for an appeal. I'm going to tell you right now, somebody was complaining the other day to me, and they're like, oh, attorneys and this, and they're all so expensive. And I had an attorney, and they did this, and they did that. And it was like $200 an hour. And I was like, you found an attorney for $200 an hour in this day and age? You did great, because I had a plumber at my house a few weeks ago, and that guy charged me $158 an hour for his work. That was his labor rate, $158 an hour for a plumber. So look, no, not disparaging anybody, just saying, let's be realistic here.
I mean, Trennis, I wish I would have known about your organization when I was going through my legal problems in 2014 and suing QuantLX for defamation. That was fun. I had nobody.
Well, that's the problem, and there hasn't been anyone for conservatives. There's all kinds of think tanks and legal advocacy, Southern Poverty Law Center, and ACLU, and all this stuff for leftists, but there's nothing for conservatives. They just don't exist.
There's AFL and you guys, America First Legal, and you guys.
Yeah, J6'er and other. Yeah, I mean, there's So we were by their office just the other day. So look, great people over there. The problem is, even if we had $1 billion, we don't have enough lawyers to take all the cases. So we have to be rather selective in the cases we take, which is a shame, because that means a lot of people go without quality legal help. And it's really sad. And we're doing these cases at seriously what we'll call low bono instead of pro bono. Mm-hmm. We do have to raise some money to do this, to keep the attorneys going, because we have attorneys. Like one attorney did 17 cases for us, trials. I mean, major trials in 3 years' time. Another one did 20 plus. Another one did like 15. This is all these people are doing. We can keep them busy, and they're willing to do it, low cost. These are guys that have made their career. They're 68 years old. I've made my money. I'm good. I just can't, it's not my job to be the philanthropist for every single case, right? So cover the cost of the paralegal, cover the cost of the travel, cover the cost of the legal investigation, cover the court filing fees. And if I make a few bucks on the other end, great. I mean, an attorney on a case like that's going to be $100,000 all day, right?
Easy.
And we have an attorney that's doing it for $25,000 and total, right? That's in total, 25 plus travel. And we're
before I want to get into the there's the 3 people I want to ask you about. Tell everybody how they could donate to this great worthy cause, because it is.
Yeah, please listen. AmericanRightsAlliance.org. It's AmericanRightsAlliance.org. AmericanRightsAlliance.org was initially funded by Don Jr. We're out of Palm Beach. We have a couple offices down that way. And thankfully that Peter Tickton, Donald Trump's lifetime long friend and roommate from New York Military Academy, has offered office space to us. He's given us office space, as Evan Turk, so others. So I have all these offices all over the place. It's great that I can go and work in wherever I am. We even have some places in DC that have offer space. So it's great. So we keeps our costs down, and we get to operate essentially on a shoestring budget, but do high impact legal with heavyweight attorneys. So all of our guys are Supreme Court level guys that are doing trial law for us. Trial litigators have been in the Supreme Court. The one that's, I think, George would be the youngest, and he's 68, and he's been in the Supreme Court since, I think, 1984. He was admitted to the United States Supreme Court. So he's been there a number of times fighting cases. And this is, we have heavyweight litigators for real people that would never be able to afford these legal costs. I mean, a guy like that would cost him $150,000, $200,000 for a case like this. And he does it for us for $25,000. So he calls it part of his philanthropy. And that's where we are. So there's great people.
Let's talk about, we said on the radio show about Tina Peters, and the 30,000 feet view about Tina Peters is she was the Mesa County, Colorado clerk. Mesa County is a red county. It weirdly went blue in 2020. Weird how that happened. She created a copy of the server because she was alarmed that the Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, and some of the Voldemort machine people were coming in to basically, as you said, remove the QR code with the vote, basically cover their tracks, correct? So she
sure does appear that way.
Yeah,
sure appears that way.
So she makes a copy. She knows that the governor of Colorado, I don't know who was at the time, it's Polis now, he's a dirtbag, and Jenna Griswold, who's evil incarnate, knew they weren't going to do anything about it. So she takes it to the Mesa County Sheriff. She's like, listen, here's what's going on. Something's weird. And then she gets arrested. This judge, this evil judge, throws the book at this lady who's like 70 years old and writes her a novella about what a piece of crap she is, and then throws her in jail for 10 years.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day. 9 years. 9 years.
Insane. She could die.
Don't forget that he stated that her danger, the reason that she had to go to prison, she couldn't be out on bond awaiting appeal, is that she was a danger to the country through her speech. Her speech was the danger to the country.
I cannot. And so I asked you, why isn't Trump pardoned her? And you had a very simple answer for this, and it makes sense. So what is it?
No. It's a state case. Donald Trump, or president, any executive authority at the United States government level, does not have authority to pardon a citizen in the state of Texas. Yeah, for a state case. Well, it's very interesting, since the FBI is the one that did the raid, the DOJ issued, was the one that went out and got the warrant, that search warrant. Why didn't they? So why don't they have that information? Why did they not indict her, charge her, and make this a federal case? Why was it state? That's a great question.
I think we're answering our own questions, because the chance would be that Trump would win again and pardon her. So they can't have that. So it's evil what they're doing there. I mean, these people are pure evil. And then we've got a January 6th defendant who is still in jail. Dan Wilson. Too bad he's not an illegal alien. He could walk scot-free. But what's going on with that?
Yeah, so Dan Wilson is a case we had out of Kentucky. Dan Wilson, look, these judges are radical. They're insane. You've seen what happened. I mean, they've gone after Trump, 64 cases in federal court, trying to injunctions. And that was more than anyone else. And people say, well, that's because Trump's right. No, because they try and stop the agenda. Anything, it's the will of the people, right? He ran on all the issues. He's trying to carry out the issues, and they do everything at every turn to stop him. Thankfully, the Supreme Court put a stop to some of that radical nonsense. So now we don't have a place where just any district judge anywhere can make a ruling and stop the executive branch now.
I'm a traffic court judge in Harris County, and I hate that Trump is mean to illegals. Anyway, go ahead.
There you go. Right, exactly. I'm going to be traffic court judge and stop President Trump, and be county commissioner and stop County Trump, whatever, commissioner's court, right? I mean, it's absurd. So here we are now with Tina Peters. So we do have oral arguments July 22nd. And that's the case. I mean, I'm just being straight with people. I don't know what to do. I mean, we have to be there. We have to cover this. We have flights, hotels, all this stuff. There's been like virtually nothing raised on this case in a scheme of where we need to be. And that's just to cover the initial hearing on the habeas corpus hearing, oral argument. And we're going to be back and forth out there. I don't know. There'll be a group of us going back and forth out there. I can't imagine we go less than 3-4 times over the course of the next few months. What's the cost of that? I mean, we don't get any special deals on airfare, right? So, and none of us are looking for first class tickets. We're all fine with flying business or coach or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a plane ride. This isn't vacation for us. We don't stay in the, Four Seasons. We're down here at the Holiday Inn or whatever
La
it is,
Quinta.
Yeah, La Quinta. Take it, right?
I mean,
Just give me somewhere where I don't take bed bugs home and I'm okay, right?
right. Don't visit New York. Okay. So the Tina Peters case is going on, and then we've got the Dan Williams case that's going to go on. And
Dan
what
Wilson.
is the rationale? Sorry?
It's Dan Wilson.
Dan Wilson. What's the rationale for not pardoning? I mean, the pardons are blanket pardon for all January 6th defendants.
Look, I'll remind people that with Benjamin, let me give you an example. So the day that the pardons were issued, a judge, one of the defendants went to the judge and said, "Hey, I've been ordered to turn myself in on this day. I mean, the pardons came out, right? And I'm pardoned." And the judge denied and said, "No, I don't see your name on anything." He said, "Well, I'm one of the 1,600. You know that. You tried my case. Like, this is a January." No, it's not a January 6th case. We don't think it's that. So you're not included. And sent him to prison the day everyone else was getting out.
I cannot. What is wrong with these people? Like, that's a whole philosophical question. So you're working on his case too. And what was the third case? Because we could be here all day, but I want to make this.
So that's Dan Wilson and James O'Keefe. Yeah, that's the journalist, James O'Keefe.
Oh yeah, James O'Keefe.
Project Veritas is how most people know him. He's now.
I love him so much. I love him. You would think that at some point these brain trusts would realize these Tinder dates or these match dates or whatever, and they start asking you about like your work in the government. Like, you would think these geniuses would clue in. Like,
hey, let's not wise them up. Let's not wise them up. It's working out real well for our side.
I know. It's like they keep falling for it because they're so smart.
I just saw the one from the Treasury, right? I mean, it is the downfall of men, right?
I haven't seen that one yet. I need to see that one.
I know, Angela, that should be your new career. We should get you going. You could be honeypotting these guys. Yeah. There you go.
I'm too well known. I'm too mouthy. I have no poker face. Zero. I would give it away.
It's okay. In my experience, men like that are not looking at your face anyway.
Not Trennis. They're looking at my hair and my eyes.
That's exactly it. Yeah, they're looking for jewelry, hair. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yes, girl stuff. Okay, I hope you will come back soon. And y'all, this guy, how long were you in jail for this crap?
Oh man, they gave me 20 days. I mean, all they did, it's like poking the bear, right? I mean, all they did was poke the bear.
Yeah, but 20 days is 20 days. You got a pardon, right?
Yeah, I got a full pardon. I was going to set to do 5 years on federal supervision.
Because you're so violent, such an extremist. I can't stand these people. They're the worst. They're the absolute effing worst.
Well, you come to understand how people become extremists. Those with less mental fortitude might fall victim to that. Well, or maybe they're just stronger Americans. I don't know. I don't want to judge them.
Well, the QAnon shaman, that's definitely a clear and present danger to the world. So, look, we could, I want you to come back, and I definitely want to touch base with you about Tina and about Dan and James. And I'm, again, it's like there's Tom Fitton's group, Judicial Watch, and there's America First Legal, and that's it. And I know there's competition for donor dollars. So where can people donate? Any amount will help. What's the website again?
Here's the thing. All those organizations have cases. We all have cases. Yeah. Everybody's doing important work. It's all important. I wouldn't for a second detract from their efforts.
No. And they all do kind of different things.
Yeah. I mean, Judicial Watch really does, they write FOIA and do a lot of work there. It's really fantastic. I'm thrilled with what they do. That was Larry Klayman's organization, and then became Tom Fitton. It's great. I mean, it's a great organization. I'm thrilled they exist. I really am. More importantly, as we talk about what we're doing at American Rights Alliance and the emergent issues that we're dealing with here, it really is. Please visit us, AmericanRightsAlliance.org. I ask people to consider being monthly donors. You know, if you do the monthly subscription, it's really helpful because it helps us budget. I had to tell 8 people in the last 2 weeks that you're on hold until we can get to you, because we have to raise some money, because I mean, we can't just take endless cases and go out of business. I have to be able to pay the people we promised to pay. And for that, we need people to help. That's for sure.
Well, I'm going to see what I can do on my end, my little amount, and we're going to talk off the air. And thrilled with your your new opportunity, and more importantly, the work you're doing. It's, you know, you had a really awful thing happen to you, but it seems to have galvanized you into a new direction. And as I can attest, those hard things can change your life and change your life for the best. So I'm happy for you, Trennis Evans.
Yeah, they surely did change my life for the best.
How can people real quick find you on social media?
You find me. So the other organization is at Condemned USA. So that was solely for January 6th defendants, and that's all we did there. And you've had me on that. So right now you can find me there. We do have socials. It's at ARA or at Donate ARA. So those are there on the socials. That's just getting off the ground, and I'll get those things running here in the near future. But they're moving. The real content where I'm putting it out still at Condemned USA on X.
Okay, great. All right, guys, Trennis Evans, please go support this organization. They're doing great work, and we'll have you back very soon, Trennis.
Angela, thank you, and thank all the great people in Houston, especially my dear friend Lynn Lasher.
Lynn was at my wedding. Love her dearly.
That's good people right there.
That's great people right there. All right, you're listening to Angela Bach Show. We'll see you next time.